Well, how are you?
I'm
How's your
good.
week been?
What day is it? Wednesday. Yeah, mental so far, but great. Like it's all systems go. But I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so grateful. It's just a lot.
Yeah, you've been non-stop since coming out of the villa. First of all, congratulations.
Thanks.
Winner of Love Island Season 2.
I know.
All stars.
I know, what the hell? I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, even to this day, whenever I haven't had a chance to speak to many of my friends yet or see them. So every time I'm catching up with somebody, they always like, congratulations, like you said. And I'm like, how did this even happen? I thought I was going to be in for maybe like a week or so. You know what I mean? Because
Did
everyone's
you
like,
actually?
yeah.
Like, no expectations.
No expectations, because I think also I knew I was going to be one of the older girls going in. So I was just like, how am I meant to meet somebody that's going to be the right kind of calibre?
Yeah.
You know? But then
here we
actually,
are.
like, everyone was a bit older, which was nice.
No, we loved watching your journey and everyone loved you on there so much.
Thank
It was-
you.
Yeah.
We're going to get into a lot of that later, but
Okay.
we're going to start with some rapid fire questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. These are fun. I
Okay.
love starting with this. Okay, first one. So it's obviously White Fox After Hours Girl Tour Edition.
Love
so we want to know your wildest girls trip story.
Oh, God, that is not for this podcast.
Oh, there's no subject off limits on this podcast, Gabby.
Let me think about what is like...
You can give us a PG version.
wild.
When I went to Ibiza when COVID was like coming to an end, so it was like kind of everyone was like opening a little bit more. And you know what it's like when you go out with the girls, you just end up talking to people. Anyway, we went out and we had like a lovely, chilled dinner. Everyone looks glamorous and stuff. And the reason I remember this is because I was looking through my photos yesterday. I was like, oh, I remember this night. I went out looking amazing, came back with no trousers on. But not because of anything bad that happened. But we ended up at this mansion party. And when I say mansion, it was like something out of like a Drake music video. Like we were
Stop.
driving up, and it was like as the drive up, there was all like these palm trees down the side, and there's just this massive mansion at the end. And we all ended up in a pool party, but I'd lost my trousers on the way home
How does that happen?
because we was in the
Like,
pool.
in the pool.
Because I went
Got
out for
you.
dinner, but I had like
Yeah.
a swimsuit underneath this like meshed outfit that I went on. So I obviously went in, or it was like, had found my top over my bikini, but couldn't find my trousers, and came home at 5 o'clock in the morning with no trousers on. It's like, this could look bad, but it was because I was at a classy mansion party. No one would have
Well,
put
that's
that two
fine.
together.
I mean, well, that's a slay then.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure people are seeing much worse than you without your trousers and Ibiza.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you're alright.
Thanks. Okay.
And like, is it a girls' night out without losing something? Like, I don't think it is.
No, at least it wasn't my phone. I'd rather lose my trousers than my phone.
True. True. We can't be coming home without a phone.
No,
No.
that's the worst.
No,
No.
that's you've lost then.
Yeah.
The night has won.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a few times that I've lost my bag but still had my phone, and even that, I'm like, take it. My phone is like my life.
Yeah, no, we can't. The anxiety would be crazy.
Yeah, no.
And tell us which friend you are in the friendship group.
So I'm kind of the person that everybody's friends with. So I kind of brought everybody together from different stages in my life, I suppose.
You're the
But-
glue.
yeah, so now everyone is like really good friends, but it all started from me being friends with each other person.
I
you know?
love that. That's like an integral person in the friend group.
But all wild as each other though. Like every single person in the group is just
You're out here doing the absolute most for the friendship group.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
they're all fun.
And that means that like you're friends with everyone, so you get all of your friends to be friends, and
Yeah.
that's the best. I love when that happens.
It's the best, but it does mean that I have to pretty much organise
Everything. Yeah, that's tough.
which is also fine because I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I know what is good and what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's do this. But then, I mean, and then I complain that nobody's like making plans, and it's like, yeah, but you're the planner.
Yeah, you
Like,
signed
someone to
yourself
plan
up for
for me.
this.
Yeah.
It does seem
Yeah.
like you have so many friends. I saw the video of when you came out of the villa and they all surprised you and Casey together. That was so nice.
That was absolutely amazing because we knew that I kind of had a feeling something was happening. I knew we were going to go meet Tom and Molly, but I kind of gauged from somebody that there was going to be more than just them there, but I didn't realise it was going to be everybody. And then my other friend Lyle, he was helping arrange it all. And he was like,
Aw.
we only had a couple of spaces left, but there's so many more people to invite. It's like, that made me feel so like special and so loved because everybody wanted to come and be there.
Yeah, that's so
Honestly,
nice.
it was the best thing to come out to. We'd literally been out for 3 days and I walked in and like saw so many of my loved ones there. It was amazing.
Oh, that's so
So
good. Because it's like, it
nice.
must be so overwhelming first coming out and getting all the attention and everyone wants to know what's happening and the updates. So
Yeah.
having like everyone that you're close with around you must have been amazing.
It was amazing. And my friends, whilst I was in there as well, when I came out, I was like, I am so lucky that they managed everything so well for me in there. But it's because they know me, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I've got loads and loads of friends, but I had a select few that were in the group that were all just discussing how to handle everything. So when I came out and saw how great everyone had done everything for me, it was just really lovely.
You've been on your socials as well.
Yeah.
You had your friend take over.
Yeah. So I had my social girl, but I also had like my core group of friends on a group. And every day people would like delegate and be like, I'm going to do TikTok, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it was just...
that's so nice.
I know.
Putting
It's like,
in
can
the
we
work.
continue to do this now that I'm out?
You guys just keep doing that. I'm
You
just
had
going to
the
go to my
time. Yeah.
island.
Yeah.
You need a social team at this point, honestly.
Yeah, well, I've got one now, which is like another thing
Game
in itself.
changer.
Yeah. But it has to be done because there's just, why is there so many platforms?
No, I know.
Back in my day, it was just Instagram, you know? I mean, Snapchat has like been reborn now. And actually, it's my favourite one.
Really?
Because you can post on there like you used to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
I just post everything.
Yeah.
And people want to see that. But because of engagement levels on Instagram, I feel like you have to be a bit more picky with what you post because it's a bit more
Yeah.
clean and like, you know, composed.
Snapchat's a bit more real, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like in the time we're posting this like straight away, whereas Instagram's a bit more like polished. And,
Yeah.
like,
Like I would put on something on Snapchat without a filter on it, just like a picture of me like this being like, bad day, something like that. But on Instagram, for some reason, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I find it harder to
No.
post on Instagram.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
Instagram is like kind of dying a little bit. Like it was with TikTok. Maybe it's got its own place now. I feel like when TikTok first came out, everyone was like, ugh, Instagram, we're over it. But now
Yeah.
it's like they're just separate things.
Yeah. You
But
do different on all of them.
It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
Like,
And especially because I don't scroll on TikTok or anything.
oh really?
No, this is why I need the social girl because she does all my TikToks for me. I'm like, can you find some audios, please, and help me do them? I don't even know how to edit a video on there. I'm such an old woman, like a millennial through
I mean,
and
if you've
through.
got someone else to do it for you, then that's,
Then why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's perfect.
But I can sleep at night.
Do you just not like scrolling through TikTok?
I
Because
just
I
don't
don't
have
know
the
if I could
time.
live without it. Yeah, true. She's a
But
busy girl.
and I haven't. I need to carve out time to do everything because there's so much going on. And I actually said yesterday, on Monday, I'm in my team meeting. I was like, I need to actually take the time to sit and scroll. Who'd have
Yeah.
thought?
It's work.
Yeah.
She's working hard.
Yeah, thanks. That's exactly.
So, what is your most toxic trait?
I've got a few. I'd say my worst trait is, I mean, I walked in here today and you were like, you seem like you've done loads today, you're really rushed. I'm like, yeah, that's the story of my life. I've just literally just said about carving time out to scroll. I don't leave enough time to do anything, or I put too much in my diary so that I'm always running on like high alert. And if I just spread things out a bit better or manage my time a bit better, then I would be less
Less
wild
stress.
all the time.
You're like
Yeah.
chronically busy.
Yeah.
I feel like we get addicted to being busy.
Yeah.
And then like can't live without the feeling of stress.
And if I'm not busy for a few hours, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But Casey actually said to me, one of his icks is people being late. This is what I should have said before when you said, who are you in the group? I'm the late one of the group. People tell me an hour earlier to get to places because I will always be late.
Yeah.
A whole
okay.
hour.
A whole hour.
Well, it sounds like because you're so booked up. You're...
Yeah.
Well, we can blame it on that. I'll take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it's actually just because I'm like probably just faffing around or playing with the dog or something, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, shit, I've got to be here somewhere in 20 minutes.
So now you've been told.
Yeah,
that
well,
you need
Casey's
to be
late.
on time.
It's my biggest ick that when people are late. And so now
Really?
every time I'm going out with Casey, I make sure that I leave myself enough time.
It's so hard though. We have so much to do. Boys just
Exactly.
like, yeah, it's easy for them to be on
They
time.
can get ready so easily, so
You don't have
quickly.
to blow dry your hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to blow dry your hair. You don't have to do your makeup. You don't have to choose an outfit.
Make sure it all goes together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Selfish, actually.
Yeah, take a selfie, get a TikTok.
Yes.
It's a lot to do. Okay, what is your biggest red flag in dating?
Oh my God, there's so many of them as well.
Yeah.
I think my biggest red flag would be not integrating your life. Do you mean like initially or like further down the line?
Just like anything, like when you, or maybe when you first start dating,
Okay.
like your initial, like what would be your biggest red flag?
I don't know, what yours? Give me some inspo.
What would mine be? I feel like, I mean, an obvious one, whenever they talk badly about their ex, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that, because the common denominator is giving you.
Yeah.
Or even talking about their ex too much.
Yeah.
On the first date or something, or
Yeah, actually being like over familiar on the first date, like giving everything like kind of love bomb vibes. I feel like that's a bit of a red flag as well, because you're like, oh,
Yeah, fair.
there's nothing left to learn here.
Yeah. And what's yours? I'm like, what are your guys?
talking too much about like
Yeah.
their past like situations and relationships, or like not making plans early enough. So like if they're like
Yeah.
texting too much and like giving pen pal, I'm like, absolutely not.
Yes, you know what? That is such a good one, because I feel like I have enough friends. I don't need you to be my friend. Like, you know, if you want to see me, want to get to know me, like get to know me in person, because everyone's really good on
Yeah.
text, but it's when you're actually with somebody.
Yeah.
But I think also a bit of a red flag for me is when somebody is like, oh, like you want them to be interested in you and you want them to know that they are, you know, they really like you and they fancy you. But when it's just that little bit too much, and you think that, like, as you said, love bombing, and they're just like, are you just saying this because you probably just want to like sleep with me or something like that? Like, are your intentions right? I feel, and I think that's like one thing in Love Island as well. When you're first getting to know people, you always question everyone's intentions, because you're like, you're on a show. Do you know what I mean? That's how maybe I just live my life like that, just question everyone's intentions.
I mean, it's a good way to be. At least you're not coming in trusting too much, and you're like figuring them out early.
Yeah. I've really fancied people before and then believed everything that they've said, and then the next minute I'm digmatised. And
I love that. I've never heard that before. That's amazing.
It's so real.
yeah, and then they're
so
fucking me
real.
over, and I'm like, oh, it's because you threw it all at me on day one, and I just like love heart eyes, you know? I wasn't even listening. I was just like, yes.
Yeah.
Literally,
You're
we
listening
make
to anything
so many
they say.
excuses. Yeah, if they're hot, like they can get away with anything.
Why is that?
We need to stop.
No, we do.
Yeah, it's not okay.
No.
We've been saying a lot about like it's as they should energy. Like they should be doing that. That's the standard. We're not making excuses for you, because
The
as
bare
you should.
minimum.
Yeah, meet us there.
Yeah.
And we're really trying with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't like single for long before I went into Love Island, but and I was actually in a long-term relationship before that, but navigating the dating world and knowing what to expect and what not to expect is so difficult.
Yeah.
Like,
Were you dating
because-
before you went into the villa, like in that in-between time?
Yeah. I mean, I say that there wasn't much out there.
Potential was slim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So this one guy, we were going on a date, and he basically, this was our third date. And before I was going to meet him, he basically, what was it now? He basically said to me, do you mind if we, do you want to come and have dinner at mine? I'll cook you dinner or something. And I was thinking,
Suspicious.
first of all, I was like, not sure. And then he goes, or we can go out, but do you mind if we just go for drinks, because I'm trying to save some money this month or something like that.
No.
No, but guys, I still went.
Oh, no, Gabby.
And I bought dinner.
No.
No.
And this is how much I fancied him, though. And now I look at him and I'm like, no.
We live and we
No.
learn,
Yeah.
and that was we'll
Traumatic.
blame it on that.
And then I didn't date after that.
Yeah,
I
So
think that's-
how were you finding dating out? Like it was harder out of the
Yeah,
villa?
it was. Well, I mean, there was 8 years between first time and second time, and then I was in a relationship for a long time. But that year before I went on Love Island this time was just hard to even meet anyone. You know, when you're out on a night out, you get boys come over to you, and I say boys, like they're a lot younger than me.
Children.
And I'm like, oh, you're fit. How old are you? And 22. I'm like, cool. 11 years
Get
older
away
than
from
you.
me.
Goodbye. Or I'm like, it's just to talk to you tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think also the kind of people that you meet on a night out aren't always necessarily going to be who you would actually want to date, unless like, I mean, there's an anomaly in there somewhere, but realistically,
it's not your future husband. Yeah.
and then I wasn't on any apps or anything. So that guy, the drink guy, let's just go for drinks, the one, that one, I already knew him from before, so that was like a bit more organic than being on a dating app.
Is that kind of why you went into the villa? Because you just thought that might be easier, like being in that kind of setting?
Yeah, because in this industry, as I'm sure you're aware, like I thought that I didn't want to be with somebody that was in the industry, because it'd be nice to have a bit of a change of dynamic when you're with somebody. However, after dating people that weren't in the industry last year, I was like, it's actually just going to be easier to be with somebody
because I get it.
Gets it, or like you have the same kind of lifestyle. So because when you're dating somebody that's in a 9 to 5, it's a different level, you know. It's like you have to plan holidays, whereas like we can just go away next week if we wanted to. And
did you say you are?
Yeah.
That's
We're
so
going
fun.
on our first holiday. Well, I'm going on holiday with my friend, with my family first of all, and then Casey just booked flights yesterday. I was like, I'm going to come see you.
Aww.
And he's like, I'll buy you another flight home. So we're going to stay for an extra 4 days.
Oh, that's so fun. First couples trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
So where are you going to?
So I'm going to Dubai with my family, and then he's coming to meet us for 4 days. Well, they go home, come to meet me for 4 days.
That's
so
fun.
I
fun.
know. But it's like nerve-wracking, right? Because your first holiday with your, partner, whatever, it's intense.
Yeah. And you're like seeing how each other are, like kind of like observing all the things that happen the whole time.
Yeah. It's like, it's a lot. It's like the next level, no?
Yeah, it is. It's so exciting though. I feel like you're going to have so much fun. Because you guys kind of did a holiday for like...
No?
You don't feel
Love
like...
Island?
No. It's not a holiday.
Yeah.
It's not a holiday. Like, obviously you're in a beautiful place and it's chilled, but you're being filmed all day, you know? It's not, and you're surrounded by loads of other people.
Yeah, true. It's not quite the
And
holiday
it's, like,
that you want.
intense as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it with Love Island. How would you describe your experience overall?
Amazing. Like, so much. From what I remember, it was so much more fun this time around than last time. And I think maybe because the last time was in black and white days, like all that time ago, 8 years ago. But I think the first time around I hadn't done any TV before. I was very much like a deer in headlights, and I think I didn't truly let myself be myself. And I'm not saying that this time I was like, any more like kind of out there, but I did feel a lot more settled within who I was.
Yeah.
In there, and I wasn't trying to be anything else. And I didn't. The last time I gave myself a hard time because I felt like I could have been way more than I was. Because when you're in there and there's loads of big characters, you feel like you're kind of like fading into the background because you're not as loud as them.
Yeah.
Whereas this time around, I was like, I'm not. I know, obviously, we're talking now, and I'm like a bit more out there, but I'm not as like kind of out there as some people that are in there, and that's okay. You don't have to be like that. And
just be like authentic to yourself.
Yeah, and I really did feel like I was authentic to myself, and then even showing my insecurities and lack of confidence and stuff, that was being authentic to myself. So it wasn't like necessarily a bad thing. It's just showing that there's different levels to everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's why people like resonated with you so much, because you were authentic and like people connect with that. So yeah, I think the public like loved your journey. And I remember even when you were saying to Casey, I think you were like sat on the beanbags or something, and you were like, I get so nervous, like I have to hype myself up every day to be like, okay, be yourself, be good, you got it. And, like,
it's true.
Did you feel like you have to give yourself like pep talks throughout it?
Yeah, every single day, because it is intense in there, and every day you get up and you're in a bikini every day, and like you get your periods, or you just feel a bit bloated one day, and then we all have different days where we feel better than others. So there'll be certain days that I would have to get up and be like looking in the mirror like, you got this shit.
Yeah,
you got this. One more day, and it works. And in the end it got to 5 weeks, and I was like, this actually went really quickly, and I had a really good time. But I think I'm quite nervous with when I meet someone that I like. So I had to work up the confidence with Casey, because he's so confident. So to try and meet that level, and he was like, I don't feel like you come across nervous, and I'm like, inside I'm dying inside.
You did so well. Like,
Yeah.
even just with how honest and open you were in every situation, I was just like, go you. Like, honestly, I feel like, yeah.
But I had to do one of those things where before I have any of those conversations that could be uncomfortable, I have to like stand behind the door and be like, okay, 3, 2, 1, just go and do it. Have the conversation because you're going to feel better afterwards. And every single time I had those awkward conversations, it always made us better and stronger than we were before, because he handles it well. Which
Good
is,
test in
yeah.
there.
Which sometimes I feel like is surprising, because there's always been like situations you've been in where people haven't handled it well, so you expect for that, and then you have the conversation with someone that's actually like a normal human, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
it should be like this.
Yeah, it's just refreshing.
Yeah.
And coming out, it means that, I mean, we haven't really had any disagreements or anything, but it feels like if I was going to speak to him about something, I would be able to communicate how I did in there, because we've already kind of like laid those foundations, you know?
I feel like that's why Love Island couples are often quite strong, because they had that communication from the start that's like not really normal in the early stages of a relationship.
Yeah, you're thrown in the deep end. You have to have all these awkward conversations. Sat there, he's in Speedos, I'm in a bikini. Like...
It's a whole new level, isn't it, honestly?
Yeah.
Like, that is just not a normal experience to be going into.
No.
And then you come out and it almost goes like backwards.
Yeah.
'Cause then you start dating, you don't see each other for a few days.
Yeah, that must be weird.
Speaking of, like, going back to the start of the experience, like, even just you going in and having Marcel there, like, were you expecting that? Because that is just crazy to be in that situation. Not only, like, meeting someone new that you like, but having your ex there also meeting someone that they...
Can you believe it?
You deserve a medal. Like, what? Are you actually kidding?
You know what? I had a feeling.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I knew that he wasn't with his ex anymore. So I had just assumed, I was like, maybe he would do it. I'd gone through loads of scenarios in my head about how I was going to handle it. I didn't know that they were going to give us the red flag game straight away, which was great, because it gave me the opportunity to let off some steam, because I'd been like sat there like,
I feel like you were still like so poised and calm. Like, you need to teach like a course, a seminar.
That situation was good though, that you got to at that start.
Yeah.
Like, where you got to say what you wanted to say.
It's funny that you think I was composed, because during that time, I felt like I was like the top of my head was going to come off.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get out everything that I needed to say without, didn't want to come across like I was like losing my mind, because it was a long time ago, but we hadn't actually spoken about it.
Yeah.
We saw each other on a night out at like 4:00 in the morning in a club one day, a couple of months after we broke up, and we had a very brief conversation and it was fine. But other than that, we haven't, like, I pretty much was just like, fuck you, blocked him.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, there's nothing that you can even say to make the situation better.
Yeah.
Like, there's no explanation. How can you explain, you know?
No, he
And
doesn't
then
deserve
get put
anymore.
on a TV show in front of him and asking what his red flag is. Like, that's just...
Oh, I can think of a few things.
Yeah. But it was good though, because I think all the girls wanted to give him the red flag, and I was like, spread it out, it's fine. Because that is a walking red flag. But you know what? He redeems himself, and we're fine now, and like, there's no bad blood. And I'm actually glad that I got to see him, because it's one less person that I have to hate.
That's so true. Yeah, it's kind of like a nice like grudge that you can release, and it's like, then that's not affecting you anymore.
I wonder if it would work with all your exes. Like, if they brought everyone in, no.
Oh my
Imagine.
God.
There's some
Ex-Island.
exes I would, no.
That is a good TV show I would like to watch, but hate to be on. Can you imagine?
Stop it.
No.
Can you actually imagine being on an island with all of your exes?
That'd be like a...
I would not be on the island anymore. I would be swimming away, and I'm not the strongest swimmer. I would rather drown.
Honestly.
No, that sounds like torture.
Honestly.
But for the girls that like might have to be in a situation with their ex, what would you say? Like, what's your tips for dealing with that? Because I think people get really, really uncomfortable around it, obviously.
Yeah. I think, like, you know, when you say that, then I'm thinking, okay, so if you walked into a bar and your ex was there or something, I think the word composure is so good. Even though you might not feel it, just have it. It's like a duck on water. Everything up here, just as if like everything's fine. Inside, you might be like losing your mind, but I think never let them kind of see your weakness in that moment. Go to the toilet, have a minute with your mates. But I think if they're an ex for a reason, and you need to remember, even though, I mean, I've definitely gone back to exes or like been made weaker by exes before if I've seen them and I still have feelings. But I think when you kind of make a pros and cons list, like look at all the reasons why you're not with that person, so that when you come back out of the toilet and you can face them, and then it's like in the back of your head, you can just be like, hi.
Reasons
Yeah.
why I
What
don't
reasons
want to
in the
talk
back
to
of
this
my head?
person.
You this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even have to say hi to them. It depends what how you ended, what scenario it was. But I think if you ended on bad terms, then they don't even. You can either be the bigger person and just like let on to them like hi, or they don't deserve your energy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Don't give them the
walk past,
satisfaction.
look hot, and go and talk to the next fittest person in the bar.
Which is what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love
And
that.
going back to Love Island, what was the most challenging experience like going on to there? Like, what was the most challenging thing?
I hated all of the challenges.
Really? You
The
killed
Hardy
it
challenge,
though.
kill me now.
I
did so
watched those
well.
and I'm like, I honestly don't know how. Like, you did so well and everyone does, but I just don't know how.
They put me first.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Oh my god, I was like, what? Like, why me going first? But then at the same time, going first, at least like it's done and it's out the way.
Get to
Yeah.
watch
But then when I was
everyone else.
watching other people's, I was like, oh, could have done that. Should have done
No,
that.
you did great.
You know?
Yeah, you did amazing.
But yeah, I think like those, not just because of the position it puts you in, like my tap dancing.
Well, how did we come
Gabby.
about to the tap dancing?
Yeah,
like,
please.
where?
If
Talk
anyone
us
asked me about my
through.
regrets, I would say the tap dancing is a huge regret. Because, so they ask you, they basically give you the option. They say, well, we heard that you can tap dance. And I was like, yeah, because I went to drama school. Of course I can tap dance. And then I was like, oh, but I don't know about tap dance. And they were like, they basically convince you that it's like a really good idea. I was
get
like,
in
maybe
your
I could
head.
sing a song. But if I sang a song, then I would have to turn my back to them because I couldn't look at anyone in the face. And then I was like, you know what, I'll just do tap dancing because it'll be funny.
Yeah.
And I told Casey that he wasn't allowed to look at me the whole time. So he was like that, looking around.
He actually did it. Oh.
Well, and then I looked at him and he's like that.
You're
Clapping
like,
me.
no.
Oh my god, it actually makes my belly turn and I hated it. But
It
I
was
think
like the hat for me.
the fucking hat. Like holding onto the hat, tap, 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 cringe.
No,
No,
I
no,
loved
stop,
it.
we
You
have to-
honestly were
I'm
like,
going red.
No,
You were
I'm
actually
saved
good,
in his
though.
phone as tap dancing queen.
Oh my god.
oh, you set
His
yourself
one
up for
was
that
crazy.
So good though. But
It
yeah,
was
hell.
good.
I can laugh about it now, but during that time, I was like sat there going, "Oh my god, no!
When
We're so close to the end, and you're gonna piss so many people off, and people are gonna vote us out because you're a prick."
It was funny. It was funny.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. Apparently, Twitter went off, and everyone was just like, "It's amazing!"
Oh
Like
my
it was,
God,
it was
really?
saying everything that everyone was thinking about the people at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he said it through a puppet, so
Yeah,
it's basically
that's
not
great.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
It was creative.
But yeah, so the challenges for me were hard because it just really pushes you out of your comfort zone. But then also like certain challenges where you just don't want your partner to do stuff that's just going to piss you off,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I feel like you did well with that, you and Casey.
Oh, I think it's because you know that his head would roll if he like before the Snog Marry Pie, I swear to God, if he would have kissed anybody else, I would just been like not okay with it.
No.
Because it's
Fair
like,
enough.
Yeah.
Were you saying that before? Were you like just prefacing?
So you're not. So when they announce the challenges, they separate the boys and girls straight away, so you can't talk about what you're gonna do. And then they call you into the beach hut, and you have to make your decisions on what you're gonna do, like there and then. So you can't change it because if you're doing camera angles and stuff, they want to know who you're gonna go to next.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That does
So
make
it's not like you
sense.
could be like, oh, I'm gonna snog Casey, and then be like, oh, last minute, oh, actually, I'm gonna snog. I mean, you could, but they would. You wouldn't.
Yeah.
For TV purposes. But yeah, we before when they split us up, I literally walked past him and I was like, "You better keep your tongue in your mouth." He was like, "Ooh," and then he didn't, and then he like kissed
Yeah.
Catherine on the cheek. Good boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no,
As
he should.
as he should. Exactly. Thank you.
What do you feel like was like the most challenging confrontation or conversation you had to have in the villa?
I didn't really have any confrontations in there.
Yeah.
I think watching stuff was kind of hard sometimes especially because everybody in there was, for the most part, really good friends. So that when there was stuff going on, it's kind of hard to be there for everybody, you know? Which I think a lot of people probably had to experience as well. Because when two people fall out, the whole villa's affected, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not nice for anyone to ever feel like they're isolated or that people are taking sides or anything like that. So I think just as a general, that was hard for everybody to kind of deal with in different scenarios, you know, when the Kaz and Elma thing, the Elma and Ekin thing. But in the end, it all works out, and you actually all just look back and laugh at it because it's not that deep. You know what I mean? Like nothing's that deep.
Almost feels worse because everyone has that like prior connection pre coming into the villa.
Yeah.
So the drama in there was just like.
Was it mad watching it?
I feel like there was so much drama. Even just like. I mean, like Harriet coming in, there was just so many different things that happened.
Yeah,
Like,
that was amazing.
Honestly, iconic entrance.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was just so many like things that happened outside of the villa and then coming in.
Yeah. So there's like history that it's true. But I also do think though, it's funny that you guys watched it and there's so much drama because there was, you know, like the Tina and Scott thing, like that was a big hoo-ha. And it does feel, when there's drama in there, it does feel heightened, I suppose. But almost like everybody has a different level of respect for each other, I feel like. Because, I mean, yeah, like most people, when you're arguing, just because like you're all the same, do you know what I mean? Like you, not that anyone's ever different, but I mean, as in like you've already done it before. Like I just feel like you kind of come in, everyone's a little bit more mature, everyone's kind of a bit more respectful. Like the whole experience was I felt a bit more like that compared to last time.
Yeah, I feel like I saw that there was like people would still get really heated in the moment, but afterwards it was completely fine.
Yeah,
it was like it wasn't that deep.
And, like, really looking, like checking in on each other. It was nice.
Yeah.
To see.
Whereas sometimes on the first time round in the what would you call it, like the normal one, the summer one, it's people's first time on TV, so nobody really knows what they're doing. You're just kind of just going for it.
And there's so many different personality types as well, and clashes with people you've never met. You don't feel like you owe them anything. Like, I feel like it's very different.
This time round, if you don't want to do something apart from the challenges they have to do, I'd just be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not joining that conversation if I don't want to join it.
Yeah, I say that.
So let's talk about Casey.
Okay.
What were your first impressions when he walked into the villa?
Thank God. Because I was currently coupled up with Mars, wasn't I? And I knew that I fancied Casey already from a previous like interaction that we'd had. And yeah, I was like, okay, this is exciting. I felt like, okay, now I've got an actual chance of maybe meeting somebody. Because at that point, I didn't really think that there was going to be anyone in there for me. You know, obviously people are good looking and stuff, but there wasn't a connection there. So when he came in and we were straight away put into a game, I was like, okay, this is good. This is my chance to put my insecurities aside and just like, because my card that I chose in that game was kiss the sexiest islander or something, so I had to snog someone. So obviously I was like, okay, I'm putting my cards on the table. Yeah. So it was really good, and I feel like they sent him in for me. If I'm honest.
Yeah, because you had a previous kind of like something happen.
Yeah, so he messaged me on. So I met him once at a house party. I don't remember it, but he does. And then he messaged me on Instagram. So that must have been when we first followed each other on Instagram, I think, maybe a few years ago. 4 years ago, something like that. And then he messaged me on Instagram, some really dead chat, asking me to have a delivery.
I've heard you talk about this. Yeah, come on.
He was like, what are you doing this weekend?
Harder.
And I was like, what's on offer? Thinking he's going to be like, do you want to go on a date?
Yeah.
So, do you want to... He was like, what are you doing tomorrow night? Do you want to get a delivery and watch a film?
Well, fair enough that you...
I was like, no thanks.
No.
Yeah, I just didn't reply.
Yeah.
No, I wrote back, oh, and they say chivalry's dead, something like that. And then he didn't, and then he wrote back, what about rock climbing? So, I mean, it was just like not going to go any further.
It's like the
than that.
invisible string theory. It's like that thing where you kind of like almost went on a date, but then he came into the villa for you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that didn't happen that time, because you don't know if that would have changed how things were, because he came in and obviously he'd had history with people and like people know about him and his history with other people as well, so it's quite nice to not have had history with him to then start fresh in there, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You were just like both eyes for each other as soon as you got in there, which was so nice to see, because I feel like there wasn't really anyone else in there that was like so like as soon as you were in there you were like not like where.
I know, it's
kind of
such a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, obviously people get tests and people do have their head turned and do explore, as it were, but like for me, I'm like, what's the point in doing that if I know that I like somebody? You know, if I'm also getting that back from him, and I would trust that he wouldn't do that to me either, so you just got to go with it, you know. And it was nice because I I felt like that from him too. Like even when Grace came in, obviously she's beautiful. I did have a moment where I was like, oh God. And that's his type. But straight away pretty much like shut it down, and it was nice for me to have that because I was like, okay, he's actually all eyes for me.
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
great
for sure.
So has your opinion of him changed a lot since he first initially came into the villa to now?
I think when he first initially came in, obviously the whole blow up with him and Kaz, just my kind of preconceptions of him, I tried not to let that impact how I felt about him in there, because I was like, I have to just go on what's in front of me, not what's happened before, because you never know, like people can act a certain way and be a certain kind of person until they meet the right person.
100%.
So, and all I got was good vibes from him, so I was like, okay, let's just like run with this. And then honestly, since coming out of the villa, it's just even better, because when you're in there, you're just that, all you have to do is mess around or like talk to the boys and just like, you know, just, it's not real life. Whereas coming out, like we have other things to talk about other than our feelings, and we can talk about our day and like plan for the weekend, and like it's just, it just feels a lot more mature now, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So how is it going now?
Yeah, give us an update.
It's so good. We're going on holiday next week. He's taking me out for dinner tonight. One thing that we do have to do is really make the time for each other, because we're so busy. So it's very easy for days to go by and then you're like, oh my God, we haven't seen each other. But I've met his family. I'm invited to his brother's wedding now in July.
Stop, that's so exciting. How did meeting the family go?
It was so good. Like they were exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Just dead down to earth, normal people. Got 2 dogs, which is perfect for me because I love dogs. And we went on a lovely family dog walk on Saturday morning. Then we went and watched his brother play rugby, and it just feels like right.
Yeah.
You know? And I felt like I just fitted in straight away. Like I spent the whole day with his brother's fiance, like just chatting. And you know, you feel like you just know people for ages.
Yeah.
So that was really important to me, because the second day after our surprise party that we had, we went out for we went to the rugby with my brother and him, and they got on like a house on fire. So everyone that means something to us, we hit it off straight away. So that's like the main
so
thing.
good.
Yeah.
It just feels like it clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you two seem so happy together. Like I feel like we've been seeing all your TikToks, and
yeah,
so
you know
nice.
What? It feels like I'm 33 now. Like my head's like being, you know, not being, what's the word, like not thinking straight, and you know, just letting people treat me a certain kind of way, or like letting things go. Whereas like this time, it feels calm, and it feels like what I want it to be in a relationship. Don't want to be worried about what he's going to do. I don't want to be worried about someone's intentions, or, you know, like trusting them is like such a big thing for me. And also because I do feel like I'm like confident in what I have to bring to the table now. It's like, it just feels very, like it's easy.
Yeah,
you know? And
that's so good. And that's how it should
None of
feel.
this anxiety.
No, because we've all been there. And it's just not like, it's you confuse the toxicity of that kind of relationship for being what, like love and lust
and passion.
Passion, but eventually that just goes away, and then it is just toxic, and it just knocks your confidence, and you know, it's just not, there's no longevity in that unless like at detriment to yourself. So I think if you feel calm with somebody and you feel like it's just smooth sailing, then it's nice. That's why in Love Island, when people are like, oh, but you haven't had a test, it's like, I don't want a test.
Yeah.
I'm 33 years of age. I want it to be easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I want it to go step by step, not take a step back and then take a step forward.
For sure.
You know?
Do you feel like this is the first like mature kind of relationship that you're getting into?
I was with my ex for 4.5 years, and you know what, for the most part it was a really good relationship. We got on very well. It just, in the end, it just wasn't working. Like we just became, I feel like we just went in different ways, and it just wasn't aligning anymore. And I think also when you kind of get to that point, you then decide, okay, is this the person that I can see the rest of my life with? And it wasn't in that time. So I've been, and that's how I know how I want to be treated, because I have had someone treat me well before. I've had a load of dickheads, so I know that I don't want any of that, but I've also had somebody treat me really well before, and I know how that feels, so I don't want anything less than that. I only want more.
You need
Yeah.
both, don't you? You need
Yeah.
to experience both to like find that in the middle of like this is what is right.
Yeah.
But that's nice to hear that it just feels nice and easy.
Yeah, that's so
it's
good.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
What did you think when you heard that you guys had won? Like, what was going through your head?
Have you seen the picture of me? Like, my friends just send it to me every night. You know, where you can make stickers on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It's just my face there. Because I honestly did not for a second think that we were going to win.
Really?
No. The fact that we even stood up there as second or first, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But when we were up there, everybody was screaming for Grace and Luca in the environment.
Oh, really?
So
Really?
loudly, yeah. So we were like, oh, they've got it in the bag. Amazing. Like, so we kind of accepted it in our heads already, and I was so happy to be even just up there as second place anyway. So we were just stood there, you know, waiting for Maya to say it. So when she says our name, it was like you know when you watch a film and a bomb goes off and then the person's point of view and you can just hear the ringing in their ears. That's what it's like for like the next 10 minutes. People are screaming in my face like, oh my God, well done. And I was just going, what is happening? What is happening?
Like zoned out of the situation.
It was such a weird feeling. I've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah, that's so
like just
surreal.
complete shock. But once it had settled, I just couldn't stop crying.
Really?
I was like, it's such a rewarding feeling. People that like can see what you have, or like, you know, obviously voted for you for whatever reasons. It's
Yeah.
really lovely
Yeah,
to
it's
know
quite
that.
validating. Like,
Yeah, I've never won
everyone's
anything in my
like-
fucking life. You know what I mean?
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you could
that's
definitely
nice.
see
You definitely
why.
deserved
Yeah.
it. Like you said, like everyone else in there was having tests, but it's like you two were like for each other the whole time. So.
Yeah. And I feel like
Yeah.
that since we've come out as well, I like I think that's the way it's going. Like it's literally just us two against the world.
Oh, that's
Lol.
so exciting.
And how do you feel that obviously like there's been like a lot of pressure from people on Instagram like having or TikTok like having their opinions like about your relationship. Like how does that make you feel?
Isn't it funny how when I was on last time round, I had a boyfriend before I left. Everybody
Yeah.
makes everyone's their boyfriend in there. But it just feels like, as I've said 1,000 times, I'm 33 and I'm not gonna, there's no rush for me to jump into a relationship if it's not right. Okay, if you were dating somebody for a month and then everyone's like, why is he not your boyfriend?
Yeah, I
There's
think
actually
it's crazy.
just no way is there. Like
No.
like you need time.
Yeah.
Like just because you've been on a show does not change the time, does it? It's like
I mean, like the show definitely intensifies. You know, you learn about people a lot quicker, but it's not real life. You're in a villa with 10 other people, not doing anything else,
Yeah.
just like sat on lilos all day. So when you come out, it's a very different like kettle of fish.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you're learning about each other in different ways. You're meeting each other's families, and it as I said, it turns on its head, and it almost goes. You're like dating backwards because you're now going on dates, and you're like
Yeah.
going to sleep at each other's house, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's so
fully.
different. But like, so that's why when everyone's going, oh, make Gabby your girlfriend, I'm like, what if I want to decide when he makes me his girlfriend? You know, why is it all like on the men? Girls get to decide this stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And we're so happy, and it's pretty much, you know, a done deal. But maybe we don't need to like scream it from the rooftops.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I feel like there is pressure on you guys to like update on every part of your relationship because it started so publicly. But like, can everyone relax? You're still experiencing all the firsts of everything. Like, this is
Yeah.
a really exciting part. There's no rush. And if you see it as a long-term thing, like literally, what's the rush?
Exactly.
like a label means nothing. Like you meeting each other's family, like going on your first holiday, like that is progression. It's like it's crazy that people have to put their 2 cents in about.
Yeah, and I
that.
get that people are invested and people just want proof that it's like what they
Yeah.
invested in.
Yeah.
And I think also you have it's not competition, but it's you're being compared to everybody else that was on the show. So if they're moving a little bit faster in what the viewer's eyes think, then that means that, you know, you're on the rocks. Like,
Yeah.
we see people send us these posts and I'm like sat next to his mum and people are like, oh, Gabby, in case you're on the rocks. And I'm like, right, Helen, don't know why I'm sat here because we're on the rocks. do you know what I mean? It's just nuts. But, you know, it's nice that people are just, they want to see that yous are the real deal. But I'm not going to listen to outside noise. If you want this to be the real deal and you want us to actually last, and just let us let it happen.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
people are so invested, aren't they? Like they feel like they've watched your journey so much that
Yeah.
they're like such a part of it.
Yeah,
Which is nice.
which is lovely, and like I'm so grateful for all the support that we have. Obviously, we won, which is just wild. So, I mean, we're literally just doing what you want us to do. We're being together, so let's be together.
Do you feel the pressure to share your relationship because it did start so publicly?
Yeah, I think with social media, I mean, I struggle anyway because there's so many different apps, but when we're doing the stuff like meeting your family or doing the normal things, it doesn't come naturally to me to just get my phone out and film everything.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a normal relationship, do you do that? Is that normal?
No.
No.
No, it's
Like we
not.
have to actively be like, oh, we should probably take a photo because people think that we haven't seen each other in a week.
Yeah.
But we have. It's just I've been working all day and then he'll come over and we'll have dinner and we'll like watch TV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you're
like
not
normal
posting like
stuff.
us sitting on the
Yeah.
couch together. Like,
Yeah, and like we want to spend quality time together. But then I say this and then I'm like, but I know, but people do want to see us together, and I get that. So it's hard to try and like battle it. So yeah, we do feel the pressure and we see it and we hear it. So we try and share as much as we can, but we're also trying to live our lives as
Yeah,
well.
definitely. I feel like you guys are doing well with that. Like it's a good balance because it is important to still progress and work in your relationship together as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely imagine that'd be a hard balance.
Yeah, it is hard.
How are you going transitioning back into normal life now and normal relationships?
It's just like my life before was busy anyway, and now it's just like another level. But I've got a really good team around me, and I'm like building that so I feel supported, because my problem is, as you know, I put so much in my diary, but I can't do it as a one-man band. I need people to help me do things. So I have people doing different things in my life now, which definitely makes it
You
easier.
have a full business as well as what you're doing.
Yeah. It's-
Like
I
it's
have
crazy.
3 businesses. So I've got my retreats company, which we're not doing a retreat now till later on in the year, just because it's like May already. What are we in? March? April, like in a few days. So that is something. And then I have an online coaching, so like PT online, and then I have a membership which is also coaching, but not as much like one-to-one stuff. So I have people that work in each of those things. So I'm like the person that has to talk to all of these different people.
Yeah.
And whilst I'm also trying to do content, whilst I'm also trying to show me and Casey, whilst I'm
Yeah.
also trying to, see my mates and go for a poo. Everything. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get
It's a lot.
shit these days. Yeah, it's a lot. But it's amazing. It's just a lot. I'm trying to like navigate how to not lose my mind.
Yeah. And
Fair
just
enough.
balance everything.
She's
yeah.
doing it all.
Yeah. But time is of the essence, and I don't want to I need to make sure that I'm like utilizing everything right now. Like that's why I brought this team in, because I'm like, I can't do it all on my own. So someone
Yeah.
that can post on TikTok for me and find me trending audios.
Delegate.
Yeah, delegate. That's the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Yeah, I need to but it's hard though when you're. I've been doing everything on my own for so long. I've got a couple of people that have been with me for a while, but I find it very hard to delegate because I know how I want things done.
It is hard. Like releasing control is
Yeah.
like, it's really difficult.
But then you have to do that in order to grow,
Yeah, definitely.
because it's, as my brand consultant says to me, he's like, if you don't bring in this person to do this job and you say that you're going to do it, will it get done? And the answer is hard no.
Yeah.
So basically invest in this person because it's only going to grow you. This is what he tells me anyway.
We're still working on that.
Yeah.
In the villa, I feel like there's always a lot of talk about the girls in Love Island being girls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like anyone in there had bad intentions or wasn't necessarily like a girl's girl?
No, I think everybody, and it's crazy because you only see like such a small snippet of the day. Honestly, every single girl in there was so lovely to every single person. Like, there's naturally people are more closer to other people. That's just the way the world works. And there's some people that you would naturally gravitate towards more than others. But as a whole, everybody got on very, very well. But not everybody saw this, which
Yeah.
is it's actually crazy because I get asked questions like this a lot, and I'm like, everyone was so friendly. There was never if there ever was any tension, it would be squashed very quickly. And everyone was mature enough to just like, I don't feel like there was certain moments where, you know, if a bombshell comes in, then maybe there's a moment where it causes a bit of a rift, but it was all over pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's intentions, nobody intends to be anything other than a nice person, but obviously if your man is at stake, it might make you be, you know, you get your back up, you know.
Yeah.
Grace came in and I was like, oh shit, you know, it makes you worry about things, but then everybody, I feel like this time around, everybody handled things very, very well in there for the most part, and we all came out and we was all sound.
Yeah.
It would be hard. Like, I can't imagine really liking someone and then someone trying to talk to them in front of you. Like, how do you deal with that?
It's hard. It's, I think, like, so when Grace came in, that was like the only moment in there that I was kind of like, oh, I'm a bit nervous about this, because obviously they, you know, she chose to speak to Casey, and Casey initially would have been like, oh, she's my type or something, and they're both good looking people, so why would they not be attracted to each other? So obviously I was like, fuck's sake, like, this is not ideal. We'd only been together for maybe a few days before this point. But I did just have a moment where I was like, if his head is turned, then he just isn't for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I have to be confident in what I bring to the table and know that I'm also great. So that, like, if he does, it's going to hurt me, and it's probably it won't be ideal to see that, because I like him. And if she was to, like, if his head was to turn and they were to go off into the sunset together, then I'm sure I'd get over it. But it would be a bit shit. But that didn't happen. So you just have to, like, trust in your what you have.
And if you
100%.
had, like, made that more of a big deal and kind of, like, self-imploded the situation, it could have been a completely different outcome as well. So I think backing yourself is, like, the best thing you can do in that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously internally you're like, shit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like,
Do
But
not
to
talk
him,
to
I'm like,
him.
yeah, don't talk to her.
yeah, it's
You're
fine.
like, but don't, he's mine.
Yeah.
Like,
I literally wore my cowboy hat on the first few days when she came in, because I was like, every time I'd have a chat, I'm
I
like,
know. I love when I like would see all the girls, like, whenever anyone would like go and sit up on the terrace, everyone would like run and like,
Yeah, I know.
listen,
it's like-
you can't hide anything in there.
No.
I'll be like, can you listen to what they're saying? Like, can you go and sit over there and listen to what they're saying? And then obviously all the boys would wind you up and be like, oh, they're laughing. He always got his hand on her knee. And I'm like, shut up.
Oh, come on.
Did you end up watching it all back?
Haven't watched any of it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Could you watch yourself back?
No, I couldn't.
I don't think so. I don't think that's
actually
good for
couldn't.
anyone.
I've watched obviously clips like tap dancing. I can't get away from it. My whole explore page was my tap dancing when I first came out. It was traumatic. But it just makes me cringe, and like I also don't want to like see things that I don't want to see. Like I've seen a couple of little clips that I'm just like, don't want to see that.
Yeah.
You know?
I get you.
So I'd rather just remember it as Casey wants to watch it back. He's like, we won the show. We need to watch it to see how we won it, what people were seeing. But I'm just like, I need a wine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I need a wine or three, you know? If I'm going to watch it.
That would be hard watching it back. Even like watching a podcast back, I'm like, I can't listen to that. Like, it
No.
went like a whole.
No, because I'm like, why does my face look like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you looked great
You
the whole
looked great
time.
the
I can confirm.
But how funny is it? Because when I was in there, everyone was quite a bit younger than me. Some people like literally like 8 years younger than me. So I was so conscious that I looked really old. And I also had
Not
eczema on my face at the
old.
time. So then I was conscious, and the lights in there are so crazy bright. So in the dressing room, you never look how you actually did. Like, we had these Google Pixel phones when we were in there, and they take pictures and I'd be like, wow, do I actually look like that? Because it did not look like that inside. So you always knew that you probably looked better than you did in the mirrors, because it just highlights
Not good
everything.
lighting.
But I was so conscious that about how I looked on TV.
You
So when I
looked
came out
great.
and people gave me like really nice feedback, I was like, oh, great. I wish I wouldn't have spent so much of my time worrying about it.
Wish they could have
I
said
know.
that in
Yeah,
interview.
can someone just tell me that I look good?
Is
Well, you
there
did.
anything that happened on the show that you like wasn't aired? Like any funny moments or like anything that you were like?
All the girls would just fart all day long.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? Sammy said this to me on when I did the live podcast.
Yeah, they just fart all day long. Everyone was farting. Everyone had bad stomachs in there, so everyone like had the shits basically, and so it was ongoing for like that whole time.
That's so funny.
What else? Oh, I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But I feel
True,
like
I
there's
was
a
just
bit.
thinking
Yeah.
that. They're not airing you fighting,
Yeah.
obviously.
No, it's not very glamorous, is it?
Not quite the vibe.
Maybe they show it on Unseen Bits, but I don't know.
You know, I actually think they did.
Did they?
I think there was a bit of a compilation.
See, I knew that they would. This is why
Yeah.
I would never just do it outside in public.
I feel like it was mostly
do
the
me dirty.
boys,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's
there might
basically
have
the
been-
Casey show, apparently. I'll watch that. I'll watch the Unseen Bits because it's basically just him in his Speedos. Like, shocking everybody. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't bring them to Dubai next week.
Oh, do you
Ooh.
think that will be on the packing list?
I feel like he might.
I think he's gonna.
I think he would do that just to like
The
piss you off a
Speedos
little bit.
cannot enter into Dubai.
Because that was a whole thing for you, wasn't it? The Speedos.
What, is it a good thing or a bad thing?
But you didn't like them, did you? Oh, you did?
No.
Oh, no,
I
that's
mean,
what I thought. You didn't like...
They're just. I'm trying to like them because he loves them. But I'm like, do you love them or are you just pretending to love them? I think he loves them.
I think he might love them a bit.
Casey in
yeah.
Dubai with his Speedos.
Speedos.
You get arrested.
I feel like this will be on TikTok next week, won't
Yeah.
it?
Oh my God.
Him and his speedos.
I literally would just ignore him. I'll just like have to.
No, we've got to walk separately.
No, I know what I'll do. When he's in the shower, I'll just like lash him off the
Yeah,
balcony.
don't know where they went.
Yeah.
So sorry.
You mustn't have
Oh,
brought
that's
them.
so
Weird.
weird. Don't know where they are.
I think he's ordered like different colours and stuff too.
Oh no.
Gosh.
Have you heard of budgie smugglers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a big thing in Australia, and I really.
Why do they think they look good though?
I
'Cause
think
they
they
think
like
it
the
insinuates.
attention. Like, I don't even know what it is.
Don't know.
It's like, look at me, like I'm wearing these funny things, but like you're looking at me. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. It's
I
like
don't
the
know.
attention seeking.
Yeah, it must be
Maybe.
it.
But the worst thing that was happening was every time he would wear the Speedos, there'd be a bombshell. So I was like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Like, maybe, I think he thought it was a good thing because I think thinks he looks good in them.
But you were like, it's kind of...
But I'm like, at least people, like, if I came in and someone was in Speedos, I'd be like... But I suppose it's like a confidence thing. Like, I love, like, there's such a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And I think Casey nails just being confident. Like, I just don't think there's a spot of arrogance in him. So,
Yeah.
like, he wears it really well. He was not...
He wears his Speedos really well.
I mean, he wears the confidence really well. So, like, he can get away with the Speedos because they kind of just... he does it in a way that like it's endearing, you know.
I get that.
Not many people could.
We were just talking about this as well. We were like, as soon as you like someone, like nothing's an ick either. Like you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
love those Speedos.
It's so
don't you?
true. It's so true.
So cute.
I was saying this yesterday about like when you have to compromise in relationships. You know, there's certain things like there's certain things that you can't compromise on paper, like you need to tick all the boxes. But if you really, really like somebody, then you can probably let go of a couple of things.
There's some wiggle room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you'll know because if you don't really, really like someone, then they have to tick all the boxes. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. For
yeah,
sure.
That you
and
can't-
things start to give you the ick. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's like a bit.
Yeah, that's a no.
Yeah.
It's funny how being digmatized can change those things. Where did we go?
I'm gonna
She's
start
well
using
and truly
this. I love
digmatized.
it. Would you do any other reality TV after your second Love Island experience?
I would love to do something like SAS.
I see that for you.
Yeah, just something that's like got a bit of grit to it, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously my job is fitness and all that, so I think it would be really nice to do some. Not maybe nice is not the right word. It'd be really exciting to do something challenging like that.
And there's obviously been a lot of commentary online about you and Ekin. What is your thoughts on this?
I just think the internet is such a wild place because there's actually no beef with me and Ekin. As far as I'm aware, we're fine. And things on social media get blown so out of context. Obviously, the press then run things off what they've seen on social media. And I see it and I'm like, oh, that's news to me. You know, I love the girl. We spent 7 weeks together or 6 weeks, whatever it was. We got on really well. We was actually really close in there. So, it's actually it's a shame that it's like being made to be anything other than that. So as far as I'm aware, everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's crazy how TikTok blows things up and like takes things out of proportion. They say like one
Yeah.
thing and then they're like,
I think it's the way things are cut. Like, so when you do like interviews or whatever, things can be cut to make it sound like it's a certain way. And I, as far as I'm aware, when I've seen people say stuff about us, me and Casey, I would just take everything with a pinch of salt because I know that it's the media and I know how the things work. And, you know, I would assume that everybody else would like also see that too. but you know, the way things are shown on social media is not kosher. It is not 100%. You just have to know that things are edited for the clickbait value. So yeah, I had loads of shit about it, but it's just I just like have to just be like, okay, cool, because I know that it's not that. So as long as I know that it's not that, it's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
What has been the craziest rumor you have heard about yourself online since this whole thing? Because it is crazy, like the rumors that come out, isn't it?
The craziest one is me and Casey being on the verge of breaking up. That is like wild to me, because I'm like, how are people getting that from what we're doing? Do you know what I mean? It's like, is it because we're not posting 3 TikToks a day with each other? You know, is it like, I don't know what we're supposed to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's
The people
You
on
can't win.
TikTok.
yeah, but we've only been off for a month, and I think it feels like it's been a lot longer for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, it's weird. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's gone really fast. Like the other day, last Wednesday, it was 5 weeks today. So it was last Wednesday that was a month that we've been back in the UK, and I was like, oh my god, it feels like we've been back for so much longer. But for other people, I suppose like everyone was still really invested. So I'm like, what do people expect us to do? I think it's because we didn't make each other boyfriend and girlfriend like within the first week. So people are like, oh well, that's it. They're gonna come back
Yeah,
and
they
break
want
up.
like progress updates
Yeah.
cemented.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we're just chilling.
We're just chilling, literally that.
Well, what would you say is next and coming up for you?
Sorry.
Okay.
A lot of talking. Right,
I
got a dry
know,
mouth.
we have been talking
You're
a
talking all
lot.
day, babe. So I have obviously my business Shape Up. I've got so many exciting things happening this year. I want to do a big live event in London in June to bring like everybody together.
That's so fun.
I've done a couple of them before, and they are just amazing. Like, my big thing for me is community. I used to teach a lot of classes before I did Love Island the first time, and that's where I thrive. Like, I love being around people. I love being around like my clients and my members and stuff. So to bring everyone together and create the opportunity for people to meet people that are on the community, and you see talking, you know, because people have made friends in my community. They go to each other's weddings.
Oh, that's
They
so
go on holiday
nice.
together.
Wow.
So to create that opportunity for people is really important to me. So we're going to do that in June. Then a retreat later on in the year. I've actually got a couple of sporty things that I'm going to do, but I haven't yet finalised them. So I don't want to say too much, but I've got like a really exciting like kind of challenge that I'm setting myself for later on in the year. It's going to kill me off, but it's going to be amazing. I think maybe September, October. And then other than that, just like hopefully me and Casey's just going to continue to like have a lovely time. Like, I love summer in London, but going on our first holiday next week, and I just think like we've got the best yet to come with us.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just
much
excited
coming
for that.
up.
Yeah, there's so
That's
much coming up, and it's
exciting.
just all really exciting. I just don't want it to go too fast. You know, when you like look back at your time, you're like, oh, it just flew by too quickly. So I'm trying to really live in the
Be
moment of
present.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice that you have all your firsts to come. Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to see all that come
I
into
know.
fruition.
I'm excited to see what happens.
I know.
All good things.
I'm nervous about my holiday.
No, I think it's going to be so much
Yeah,
fun.
you'll have the best time.
And I'm excited to see some TikToks, hopefully.
I'm sure we'll be doing those
Yeah.
TikToks. Mr. TikTok over here. People ask me to do it when they see me on the street. They're like, Gabby, can you do What's Up TikTok? And I'm like,
Oh my god.
that's not me. That's not my
no.
brand, but I do it.
Do
Obviously.
you do it? That's funny.
So we do have a little game before
Okay.
we finish up. So we're going to do Most Likely To Islander edition.
Okay.
So out of everyone, we've got a few different things. You've got to tell us who's most
Okay.
likely to. So
Oh, this is fun.
yeah. Okay, first one is most likely to become a meme online.
I'm going to say safe and say Casey.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's had a few viral moments
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Most likely to be the last one ready.
God, the girls took so long to get ready. We used to have, it's like 2.5 hours every night.
Wow.
Who was always the last one to get ready? Should I say? Harriet was always quick. Grace, maybe. Yeah. I mean, we
mean,
all took very long.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine. It's like a full, from bikini to like full glam. So
Yeah.
I can imagine that's a whole process.
Yeah, it is. But I think like also some days hair wash day is the worst.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, I
'Cause
can imagine.
everyone has to wash their hair and blow dry it, and then everyone has to share the straighteners.
So,
And I just don't
The
wash my
worst.
hair. I'm such a boy.
yeah.
I'd be like, wake me up when there's an hour left. But I did everyone else's hair and everyone else's like bits and bobs. So they'd wake me up just so I could come down and do everyone's hair.
Oh, damn, you're good. Okay, most likely to start drama with another islander.
Elma. And she won't mind me saying that just because she just thinks on the spot and like just says it how it is straight away, and then she's like, probably shouldn't have said that.
But it's
I
just
do
so
like that
her.
about her. She just says it how it is.
Yeah, I used to say to her, I envy how vocal you are because
Yeah.
you just can just say it, and her mouth moves so quickly and she says so many words, and I'm like, how do you think that fast? It's actually crazy. I
No,
have
it's
to
a
sit there
skill.
and really think about things, and she's like, no, but I
Yeah.
wish I had more of you. Why can't I sit and think about what you want to say? I'm like, well, maybe we can meet in the middle.
You need a bit of both.
Yes. Yes. That's so good.
Who is the most likely to be the last one standing on a night out?
Me.
The
I
party
see
girl.
that energy for you.
Yeah, I will always swap shoes with my friends and everything. I'm like, your feet sore, let's swap. Because you know when you switch shoes, it always helps it a bit better. But
Yeah.
no, I'm always out till.
That's iconic.
love
Wait, so
that.
you're the one taking the shoes so they stay?
Yeah,
That's
is
a good
iconic
friend.
behaviour.
Yeah.
That is a good friend.
100%.
Oh yeah, I think I've come home from a girls' night and none of the girls are wearing their right shoes.
No, because even just a change in a little heel makes it a bit different.
That's
Yeah.
so true, isn't
Yeah,
it?
squishes your foot in a different way.
We last time that happened we was out on a night out, and I think I had boots on and someone else had switched, so then I ended up in like obviously the uncomfortable ones and they were in the nice ones, but it's because we had to walk a certain way, and I was like, you're not going home, switch shoes with me. And we were fine. Stayed out another 5 hours.
I love that energy.
Yeah.
Most likely to laugh in a serious moment.
Casey.
Yeah, I see that.
There was a few people in there, but definitely Casey. Like that time, the dumping, you know, the one where Liv came in.
Ooh.
Casey was like laughing. But it's because he was like, we were so shocked about what was going on.
That was crazy, that situation.
I couldn't even believe that.
Have you seen this photo? Is that what you're talking about? The
No,
photo?
I haven't seen them.
That was wild.
No, honestly, that is just the craziest.
Yeah.
Just
I was like mouth open.
Yeah,
watching.
no.
like jaw on the floor.
It's one of them, isn't it? Like, you know, you'd like to think someone wouldn't come in and say something like that if it wasn't true. I think also, apparently it is true. I don't know. But also, I'd rather you just not say anything. I don't want anyone to think that we won because of that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if that is the case, then not ideal. But it was just like an awkward like situation for everyone to be involved in, because you know don't want someone. It was shit for Grace because she had to like then sit there for 3 days wondering what was being said about her. Can't defend yourself. Don't have your phone.
Oh, that's awful.
Awful. And then also we're sat there when you win thinking like, did we win because someone did us a favour that we didn't ask for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, but hopefully that wasn't the case.
No,
But
I don't think so.
Casey was laughing. He was like this, just laughing, and I was going, stop it, because I was like, you're embarrassing me. Because when that was how it first started with that dumping, so you didn't know what these 12 other people had to say. I was
Yeah,
thinking,
you're sitting there
hey,
like...
buckle up, because they're going to say something about us.
True.
Well, you definitely didn't win because of that. Like, everyone loved watching your journey. I feel like...
Thank you.
Yeah. No.
Thanks.
It's a very awkward moment.
Yeah, it was just a bit unnecessary.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy, that whole thing. Honestly, I was watching like, there's no way.
Yeah, and when we came out, it was like such a big deal as well that we had to talk about like over and over again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was just not ideal. You want to come out and you'd be like, "Oh, we won." Actually, it's like, but what do you think about this? Do you think you won because of that? You know.
Crazy. So most likely to be chronically single.
Kaz.
Yeah.
I was with her yesterday, and she was just like, "No man is good enough," you know.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like I love Kaz, and I think I haven't watched it back, but from what I've seen, I think she might have got a bit of a rough edit, or people might.
I loved watching her.
Oh, was you?
I don't
Honestly,
think so.
I think I love her energy.
Yeah.
She's amazing, but she's
She's
a
not
one
much
of a
luck,
kind.
like, throughout the show. Like, there just
Yeah.
wasn't anyone for her. So I
Yeah.
think it appeared like she was trying with a few different guys, but I don't think that was the case. Like, she did appear quite authentic.
Yeah, she definitely is.
Yeah.
I just think like she is one of a kind, and it's gonna take a special, like, strong man to be able to, like, handle her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So until she finds someone that's like her level, then
They're not worth it.
yeah, exactly.
I think we have just one more.
Okay.
Most likely to break up after leaving the villa.
Everyone's going very strong.
Yeah, everyone actually is. Like, everyone who found a match has been very strong.
Yeah, and that is exactly what it was like when we were in there. So that is what is great, because people ask these questions all the time, and you know, there's probably, I mean, I'm sure people have different opinions, but on the final day, you couldn't have called who was actually gonna be who or what, because everybody was in such a good place. Sammy and Alma, so great together.
Yeah, they
Catherine
are,
and Omar,
aren't they?
so great together. Ekin and
Yeah.
Curtis, so great together. Everybody is like so good together. Grace and Luca, and it's so nice that how many weeks are we out now? 5 weeks, and everyone's still there. And you just, I
Yeah.
think everyone's getting stronger from what I've seen. Like, we all went to Grace's event a few weeks ago, and everyone was there in the couples, and it was lovely. So I actually don't know about that one. It's
Yeah.
That's a
Only
great
time will
answer.
tell.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
it
this
is
has been one of the better seasons with people actually finding compatible matches.
yeah, they did really well.
Yeah.
This
They
time.
do pick people to go in for someone, though,
Yeah.
don't they? I've seen stuff about that online where they will actually like pick someone out that would be their type, which is good. They're making
Yeah, it's because before we
relationships.
go in, they ask you
who what your type
you
is.
would be like attracted to from previous seasons.
Oh, so you get to put a list of
Oh.
people actually.
Yeah.
Was Casey on your list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
How many people do you have to pick?
You can say no one if you don't want,
Yeah,
but you
okay.
just like surprised me. But
So they.
I literally went through from season 1 all the way to the end and was like, who's single, who's not single.
I love
was like,
that.
who's fit, who's not fit. But yeah, you kind of like just so they can. They're trying to match make. So, you know, and there's going to be some crossovers here and there. That's what causes the tests. But they're trying to find couples for people to fall in love with.
Well,
So-
they did a good
They
job.
did a good job this year. They did.
Matchmaker over there in Love Island.
Cupid over there.
And there's been so many. Actually, if you look at the success rate from the show, there's been so many really strong couples that have got
Yeah.
babies and marriages and everything out of it. So you know,
Well, congratulations again. We're
I
so happy
know.
to see you. So happy.
thanks for having me on. It's so good.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
It was so nice to learn more about your experience and your new relationship. Very exciting.
Would you ever do Love Island?
I have a
don't
boyfriend,
know.
so
Oh, do you?
not at this stage, no.
Fair.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would find it hard to be having a situation where you're dating someone and they're talking to other people.
I know,
it
but
takes
until
a
you're like
very-
thrown in there, like I think you do very well on it. Look at me, I'm like signing up. Get on Love Island.
Sign me up,
ITV.
Do
If
it.
Love Island calls, I'll be there.
I would love to see that for you.
I think you'd be amazing on it. But you know what I think it is that like I had 2 very, very good experiences on it, and it changed my life in so many ways, and I'm actually so grateful for it. Like now I'm with Case, and like I'm really happy, and but not just that, like it's just made my whole life evolve again, and it's really great. And I think people sometimes Love Island gets a bad name, but it's actually a great experience.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
It's so exciting to see what's
Even
gonna
as a
happen next.
middle-aged woman.
Middle-aged? No, not even close. Well, thanks so much, Gabby.
Thanks for
Our
having me,
first
girls.
guest for the girls tour.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Set the bar.
Oh, yeah. It's up here.